How about them Cowboys?
Angry Cowboys fan, are you down to ride? Angry Cowboys fan, are you down to ride? Drop a like on the video, go ahead and subscribe.
What's going on, Cowboys Nation and Angry Cowboys fans around the world? Y'all know who it is. It's your man, the Angry Cowboys fan and Cowboys Nation. With all the coverage of the Micah Parsons contract situation and with what's being played out in the media, I gotta take a step back and actually interpret what both sides are saying. Y'all know I haven't watched the docuseries on Netflix, and I did watch the interview between the playmaker Michael Irvin and the owner/GM of the Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones, and boy, did Jerry drop a few sound bites for the media to run with. So we're going to take a listen to the 3 clips that I got for y'all, and y'all know what we're going to do. We're going to come back and unpack this raw and uncut. So, Angry Cowboys fans, let's take a listen to the first clip from the Michael Irvin interview with Jerry Jones.
And I'll let it go at that. I'll let it go at that. I'll drop this one thing on you because this is.
When we wanted to send the details to the agent told us to stick it up our ass.
Oh, wait. Now, see, I was
just so you're clear.
Wait. What do you mean? So wait. What do you mean? Because people are going to ask.
Mike and I talked. Mike and I talked, and then we were going to send it over to the agent. And we had our agreements on term, amount, guarantees, everything. We were going to send it over to the agent. And the agent said, don't bother because we've got all that to negotiate. Well, I'd already negotiated. I'd already moved off my mark on several areas. And so the issue, very frankly, is we've had the negotiation in my mind. And the agent's trying to get his nose in it right now and try to come in there and improve off the mark that we'd already said. It's the mama-daddy deal. You go into mama and she won't do it. And she's the boss, so she won't do it. So you run into daddy, daddy says do it. And then you go back in and say, mama, daddy said it was all right. It's the old mama-daddy deal. We've all been there and done that.
The old mama-daddy deal, we've been there and done that. So what are you saying, Jerry Jones, that Micah Parsons is the child in this whole scenario and he's running back to mama and saying something mama said no and you're running back to daddy and daddy said yes? I don't get it, Jerry Jones. But you see, Cowboys Nation, that's the issue that I have with Jerry Jones. Michael Irvin was asking him about Micah Parsons' contract situation before the clip actually started, but then he kept it a little bit vague. Jerry Jones kept it vague up until that point that I actually clipped the video. Here's where the ad-libbing starts, and as history's shown us, Cowboys Nation, this is where he starts to bring his foot right up to his mouth. Why would you feel the urge to say something like, they told me to stick it up my ass, knowing that the media would take it and run with it, Jerry Jones, knowing that they would clip that soundbite? Or did you want them to take that soundbite and run with it? You never know when someone says, I like the pain, and does things like stir up the pot. And I'm using his words, Cowboys Nation. These are Jerry Jones's words. But jumping into the second clip that I got for y'all, Jerry Jones goes into his bag being the owner/GM of the Dallas Cowboys. So let's take a listen to the second clip so we can come back and talk about it. Roll that clip.
Since the subject is Micah, okay, I have agreed to give more money than has ever been given in terms of guaranteed money than anyone ever has as far as a defensive player. I've done that. Now, I am the cat that writes the check, okay? Now, Micah's got 3 years with the Cowboys left. He's got 3 years. At some point, somebody has to have the say over the other. At some point, it has to be that way. My job is managing the check, okay? Micah's got to do the playing. Where's the least important part of this whole equation we're talking about? What is the least incremental part of the whole equation? The attorney or the agent. Okay, he works for Micah.
Damn. Holy smokes, Cowboys Nation. I mean, damn. Jerry did not mince words at all. Jerry didn't leave anything to the imagination. He truly feels as if the agent has zero meaning when it comes to contract negotiations. But my pushback is this. Why do these players acquire services such as an agent if they're meaningless? Also, if you were willing to give more guaranteed money than any player in history, why is it an issue when they try to relay those same numbers to Micah Parsons' agent? Cowboys Nation, we're going to have a good old talk during this Raw and Uncut portion, so make sure you stick around for that. But jumping into the third clip that I got for you, Ryan Clark comes out of nowhere, comes off of the top ropes. Apparently, he spoke with David Mulugheta about the interview between Michael Irvin and Jerry Jones. So let's take a listen to that so we can come back and unpack this Raw and Uncut.
I just hit David Mulugheta, and I simply asked him, I said, did you tell Jerry Jones to stick the contract up his ASS? Because I was like, ain't no way. And he laughed, and he said, I've never used that phrase in my life. So for anybody who is reporting that, for Jerry Jones saying that, this is false. This never happened. This is just another public way to make this situation, which is already ugly, even uglier. David Mulugheta in no way has ever told Jerry Jones or any other general manager or owner that. It's all bull crap. It's all lies.
It's all bull crap. It's all lies. You see, Cowboys Nation, this is the issue that I have. Somebody's lying to Cowboys Nation in this situation, and track records are pointing to one side more than it is the other. But y'all ready for this Raw and Uncut? Y'all ready? Let's get it. All right, Cowboys Nation, let me start this Raw and Uncut out by saying that this is my own personal opinion about the matter. I don't have an inside track at the Star. No one is indulging in the specifics of the contract with me. This video is my own theory about the matter. With that being said, all this stuff in the media, it's completely unnecessary, Cowboys Nation. All this third-party messaging relaying has got me feeling like there is too much ego involved when it comes to this situation. It all started when Micah Parsons and Jerry Jones started talking about Micah's upcoming contract, all the way down to the specifics of the year and guaranteed money without the person Micah Parsons hired to actually handle that type of situation, or at least be in the same room when that conversation goes down. Some say that Micah Parsons should have never opened the door to the conversation, and others say that Jerry Jones knew what he was doing and actually took advantage of the situation. Then after the handshake deal, Jerry Jones goes on record and says this.
The agent is not a factor here, or something to worry about. And I don't know his name.
So y'all meaning to tell me that you wouldn't feel the same type of way if you were representing somebody and then somebody said that about you as far as being the agent? Egos, Cowboys Nation. And now we got Jerry Jones telling Michael Irvin that David Mulugheta told him to stick their offer up his ass. I honestly feel that Jerry Jones loves to make a big thing out of nothing. He loves to make things sound more than what they truly are. Stick it up your ass to Jerry Jones? Is David Mulugheta telling him the deal isn't binding because you tried to negotiate without his representation present? That they would go back to the table and negotiate and handle business correctly? Jerry probably took that as a sign of disrespect, seeing they had already had a handshake deal, kind of like a pact that two middle school friends have. But why was this handshake deal above reproach, Cowboys Nation? Why did Jerry Jones feel slighted after Micah Parsons told him to finish the negotiations with David Mulugheta if the contract was so beneficial to all parties involved? I got a feeling that it wasn't, but until we hear from The Edge himself, we will never know what truly happened in that meeting. But also, I get it from Jerry Jones's perspective. I get it from his side. I'm not going to get up here and just bash on one side because I believe there's enough fault to go around with this situation. But Jerry Jones is in it for his brand. his organization, and he wants to sign Micah Parsons to the lowest amount of collateral damage possible to the salary cap. I get it. He wants to make sure it's a number that's advantageous for him before Micah Parsons, which he should do. I completely get that. But he also cares about Micah Parsons and thought that their conversation was ironclad with the contract itself. I get it. Like I said, Cowboys Nation, if he went out signing every player to record-breaking numbers, he would go under quick. The Dallas Cowboys would go under quick. I get that side of the aisle as well. The thing is,
friends is friends. This is business.
And you have to play by those rules, Jerry Jones. Micah Parsons' rules dictates that if you want his services, you have to take it up with his agent at the end of the day. What Jerry Jones is expecting Micah Parsons to do is kind of go behind the person that he hired back to get this contract done. That's kind of like going behind the back of your partner, bringing a player to the team without consulting said partner. Or kind of like bringing a player to the team against the wishes of the head coach. Sound familiar, Cowboys Nation? But there's a reason why all this is blown out of proportion with Micah Parsons dangling right there in the middle. Someone's not willing to play ball the appropriate way. Someone doesn't want to adhere to the hierarchy, and it's not David Mulugheta or Micah Parsons. Someone didn't get their way, and now they're taking their ball and going home, leaving negotiations at a standstill. But someone from TikTok asked me to look at it from the point of David Mulugheta being the one benefiting from Micah Parsons signing a bigger deal. How David Mulugheta was let go by T. Higgins for something similar. Well, if that's the case, Cowboys Nation, the power is all in Micah Parsons' hands. If he's willing to sign the terms that he and Jerry Jones laid out on that table, he has the power to tell David Mulugheta that he is fine with the terms and plans to move forward without David Mulugheta's blessing on that contract. But ask yourself this, Cowboys Nation. Why hasn't Micah Parsons done this? Why hasn't he told his agent that he's completely satisfied? Honestly, I feel that there's some verbiage and some fine print that David didn't like. We hear about the APY and the guarantee, but there's also more things to a contract. What about the length of the contract? The clauses Jerry in the front office might have placed in said contract. Why hasn't the public been privy to those details like we've been privy to all the bullshit, Cowboys Nation? It's not like Jerry Jones isn't willing to share this knowledge.
Come over to the office and I'll show you exactly what I offered Micah. We got it in the back. It's with all written down, everything to go. Come down and look at that.
But this is the issue that I have with this process, Cowboys Nation. It's the selected negotiation, continuously being passive-aggressive with the agent of your best player and your wide receiver, too, because George Pickens is coming up, and he is represented by David Mulugheta, exaggerating the story only to throw more fuel on that fire, inviting a person, Hall of Famer or not, to come down and stick their noses into our business is so disrespectful to Micah Parsons, and it continues to drive a wedge in that already fractured relationship between Micah Parsons and Jerry Jones. But is there a reality where David Mulugheta could be overstepping his boundaries and working against what his client truly wants? Yeah, Cowboys Nation, there absolutely is, especially if Jerry Jones actually sent them his offer and David Mulugheta sent it back with bigger numbers. That would piss me off if I were Jerry Jones. Like, Micah and I already ironed out these numbers. Why are the numbers bigger after you get your hands on it? This all falls on the shoulders of Micah Parsons. I'm going to keep it a bean, Cowboys Nation. Micah looks severely unhappy on the sidelines and not playing football. He is a competitor, and he wants to be out there on the field with his brothers, but it seems as if he was talked into putting a halt to the numbers he and Jerry were talking about, but was also convinced to hold in by somebody. I can hear the conversation now, Cowboys Nation. Micah, look what Myles Garrett did in Cleveland. He got his money. He actually held out. He told them that he wanted to trade. He wanted out of Cleveland, but they gave him his money. Then you see Micah request a trade, further bruising Jerry Jones's ego. So at the end of the day, somebody's going to have to be the bigger man and try to rekindle these negotiations between Micah Parsons and Jerry Jones. Whether that's Jerry Jones, which I highly doubt, or David Mulugheta, which is more of the likelier scenario. Someone's going to have to pick up that phone and try. And if the other side doesn't respond, then the fans will have their answer as to who and what that holdup is. David Mulugheta said that they tried twice, once last year and once this year. But if you want it bad enough for your client, you're going to try more than twice a year. And with Jerry Jones, Cowboys Nation already knows that the Dallas Cowboys never pick up the phone. That if you want to do business with them, if you want to conduct business with Jerry and the Dallas Cowboys, you are going to have to call them. But Cowboys Nation, maybe things need to change, because the fate of Micah Parsons as a Dallas Cowboy may depend on it. But this has been your man, the Angry Cowboys Fan. Cowboys Nation, what do you feel about the whole situation involving Micah Parsons? What do you feel needs to be done in order to get this deal done? Y'all know how we do. We always talk about it in the comment section. If you're digging this content and want to help the channel chip away at its current milestone of 20K, drop a like on this video and please consider sharing it with anybody that you know is a Dallas Cowboys fan. If you are DC for life and feel that all the contract negotiations should be held behind closed doors, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell to be notified whenever I go live, release a video, podcast episode, film breakdown, or Madden 26 or College Football 26 gameplay. Both Jerry Jones and David Mulugheta are wrong in this situation, in my opinion. They have the power solely to get this deal done so that Micah Parsons has a little bit of security going into this season. Are they going to get it done? My hope is before my birthday on August 28th. But this has been your man, the Angry Cowboys Fan, and I'm out. Dang, Angry Cowboys Fan, you done made it through the entire video. But if you want more content, you can definitely go to this video right here. Or if you want the latest episode of the Angry Cowboys Fan podcast, you can go right here. But whatever you do, like, share, and subscribe to the channel, but remain DC for life.